Tap on the kidney to learn more. What are the kidneys? The kidneys are two bean-shaped organs, each about the size of a fist, that are located just below the rib cage on each side of the spine. They are the body's blood filtration system, helping get rid of waste. For example, what are the kidneys? The kidneys are two bean-shaped organs, each about the size of a fist, that are located just below the rib cage on each side of the spine. They are the body's blood filtration system, helping get rid of waste. For example, creatinine, uric acid, urea, toxic substances, and excess water, which they discard through the urine, while also maintaining a healthy balance of water and salts and minerals, electrolytes, in the blood. The kidneys also produce hormones that help control blood pressure and contribute to red blood cell formation. Blood enters the kidney via the renal artery, which branches into smaller and smaller blood vessels until it reaches the nephrons. In the nephrons, the blood is filtered by clusters of tiny blood vessels, capillaries, the glomeruli, and then flows out of the kidney through the renal vein. The urine flows from the kidney to the bladder through a thin tube of muscle called a ureter. What is a nephron? Each kidney is made up of approximately 1 million blood filtering units called nephrons. They consist of two parts: the renal corpuscle, which is the initial blood filtering component, and the renal tubule, which processes and carries away the liquid and substances filtered from the blood, filtrate, to eventually become urine. As the filtrate moves through the tubule via the proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubule, and collecting duct, almost all of the water, along with minerals and nutrients that the body needs, for example, electrolytes, glucose, amino acids, proteins, is reabsorbed through the peritubular capillaries into the blood. Some final wastes from the blood, for example, urea, creatinine, medication, are secreted into the tubule fluid, which is eventually processed to become urine. What is a glomerulus? The renal corpuscle is made up of a glomerulus, a tuft of tiny blood vessels, capillaries that filter the blood, surrounded by a cup-like structure called the Bowman's capsule, also known as the glomerular capsule. As blood flows into the nephron, it enters the renal corpuscle and the nest-like structure of the glomerulus. The glomerular filtration barrier allows smaller molecules, wastes, and fluid, mostly water, to pass into the Bowman's capsule interior, called the Bowman's space, where it collects as filtrate. Larger molecules, such as blood cells, protein, for example, albumin, and platelets, are unable to pass through and remain in the blood. Glomerular filtration rate, GFR, describes the total amount of filtrate formed by all of the renal corpuscles in both kidneys per minute and is considered one of the most important measures of kidney function. Glomerulus cross-section. This is a glomerulus cross-section. It shows blood flowing through 4 glomerular capillaries that are enveloped by the Bowman's capsule. As blood flows through the glomerular capillaries, smaller molecules, wastes, and fluid pass through the inner walls, lined by endothelial cells, the basement membrane, and past podocyte cells, which collectively make up the 3-layer glomerular filtration barrier, into the Bowman's space. Blood cells and proteins do not pass through the glomerular filtration barrier. The 4 glomerular capillaries are connected by the mesangium, which is composed of specialized kidney cells, mesangial cells, whose primary function is to remove trapped residues and protein from the basement membrane, thus keeping the filter free of debris, and the mesangial matrix, which provides structural support for the mesangial cells. What is chronic kidney disease? When people have kidney disease, the kidneys become damaged and can't filter the blood the way they should, which can cause waste and excess water to build up in the body. Further damage to the glomeruli causes leakage of proteins and/or red blood cells in the urine, causing proteinuria and hematuria respectively. These are often the first signs of kidney disease that are visible to patients. For example, people often notice proteinuria as foamy urine, or doctors via tests. The kidneys have more blood filtering capacity than required. If some nephrons and glomeruli become damaged, others can pick up the slack. This is why people can live with only one kidney. Therefore, people with early CKD may not have any symptoms. As CKD gets worse, people might get edema, swelling in the legs, feet, ankles, hands, and/or feet, due to fluid accumulation. Over time, damage to the kidneys can lead to kidney failure, at which point people will need dialysis, which mechanically filters the blood, and/or a kidney transplant to maintain their health. Diabetes and high blood pressure are the most common causes against pathogens. The glomerulopathy. What is 3CG? C3 glomerulopathy, C3G, is a rare kidney disease in which part of the immune system, the complement system, is overly active and hence causes C3 protein deposits to accumulate in the glomeruli, damaging them. C3G affects individuals of all ages, but it is commonly diagnosed in adolescents and young adults. Each year, 1 to 2 people per million worldwide are newly diagnosed with C3G. Immunoglobulin A nephropathy. What is IgAN? Immunoglobulin A nephropathy, IgAN, is a rare kidney disease in which abnormal IgA antibodies bind to other antibodies to form immune complexes that deposit and accumulate in the kidneys, causing inflammation that damages the glomeruli. IgAN is a complement-mediated kidney disease that is associated with an overactive alternative complement pathway. Though the disease can present at any age, most individuals are diagnosed as young adults. It is the most common cause of kidney failure in Caucasian young adults, and each year, 21 to 40 people per million worldwide are newly diagnosed with IgAN. What C3 glomerulopathy? What is C3 atypical hemolytic uremic syndrome? What is AHUS? Atypical hemolytic uremic syndrome, AHUS, is a rare disease in which an overactive alternative complement pathway causes small blood clots, microthrombi, to form in the glomeruli and other organs. These clots can cause serious medical problems if they restrict or block blood flow. They also destroy red blood cells, thus lowering circulating red blood cell levels and causing hemolytic anemia, increase consumption of platelets, thus lowering platelet count, thrombocytopenia, and can cause kidney failure. Therefore, AHUS is considered a form of thrombotic microangiopathy, TMA. What is a glomerulin?